Our coverage of the protests in Colombia continues tonight, and as another week of marches take place across the nation, we'll talk to one USC student that organized demonstrations in her hometown. Also, the USC football team was out to protest racial injustice, how Coach MUSCHAMP has been ensuring his team is politically active. But first, George Floyd was laid to rest in his hometown of Houston yesterday, and protests demanding change continue around the nation. We have a look back at this past week's demonstrations in Colombia. News 4's Ward Jollis has more.
Nearly a week since protesters first took to the State House grounds, the demonstrations in response to the murder of George Floyd continue. Today, protesters addressing the governor and reading a list of demands outside of his mansion, even going as far as demanding his resignation.
And my last demand is that Governor McMaster resign and
Big names in the Columbia community among those protesting. Will Muschamp and Ryan Helinski joined today. Over the past week, tensions growing between the people and the police after protests became violent on Saturday night. People also firing back on social media after a USC student posted a racist Snapchat story, calling protesters thugs and guerrillas. University spokesperson Jeff Stensland telling the Daily Gamecock in an email that the student who posted the message is no longer enrolled at the university. USC President Bob Caslin announcing soon after that all incoming freshmen will be required to complete a new diversity training module. The now week-long protest in Colombia still continues, all started by the man from Minneapolis, who, like so many others, have lost their lives at the hands of the police.
For hundreds of years, we have been beaten down. We have been stripped of our rights. And today we are here to stand, and we are here to tell these people that we are humans, period.
In Colombia, Ward Jollis, SGTV News 4.
we shall overcome someday.
Thank you, Ward. And demonstrations just like that one are happening across the state. USC junior DESIREE Bailey organized a protest in her hometown of BLUFFTON, South Carolina. She joins me now. And DESIREE, there have been protests all over, but why was it important for there to be one in BLUFFTON?
Well, if you've ever been to BLUFFTON, it is in the bottom of South Carolina, and it is the most, not the most, but it is one of the most conservative, more right-leaning cities that I have come across in South Carolina. And so what I wanted to do this protest for, why I wanted to do this protest, is because it is the older generation and it is the older demographic that I'm trying to not necessarily change their mind, but just educate them for them to change their mind themselves. It's not the kids that don't get it. It's the people that are still running our businesses and our corporations, and the same people that are in office, as far as even in mayor, they are the older generation that don't understand like why Black lives right now don't matter in America and why they do need to.
And what was the process like trying to get it all together?
Actually last Tuesday is when my friend had asked me if I wanted to go just to like the gas station and stand out front. And I was like, oh my gosh, yeah. Like I was on the way to the beach and I was like, oh my gosh, no, I definitely want to go be a part of this. And so it was only 8 of us. And then I was like, guys, we should definitely do this on a bigger scale for everyone and not just people our age, but everyone in BLUFFTON. And if we can get the right people involved, then this can be like one of the biggest, we could be a part of one of the biggest movements that's ever going to happen in the history of the world. So within 24 hours, we had gotten the mayor the chief of police and Bluffton Police Department on board with our protest. They blocked off the streets for us. We had speakers, and that trickled into us going to Saturday, where we had Bridget Frazier, she is the president of the MLK Observance Committee, and she came out and spoke, and we had a Bluffton Democratic Club out there registering people to vote. So it really just was word of mouth. Within 24 hours, everyone knew about it, and being that I am well known in my city, it was super easy to get people to repost, even if I didn't know them. So,
what was the atmosphere like when everybody was there?
On Tuesday, we got spit at and got flipped off, and it was. I knew that was going to happen, and then Tuesday, it was. We thought we were going to have 50 people, and we had 150 people, and it was just a atmosphere of just love and connectedness and togetherness. And I don't think that besides like a football game, that many people don't come together. So it was good. It was a nice time.
So what do you hope to see moving forward from this point?
As far as everyone just changing their mindset, we are working with the mayor and chief of police to change. I don't know if you know about 8can'twait.org, which is a project put on by Campaign Zero, and they are working to get every local law enforcement to implement 8 policies that will fight against police brutality. So we're trying to get those 8 policies implemented in Bluffton. We're also trying to get the change of streets that we have in Bluffton called Confederate Avenue, Calhoun Street, and Gibbet Road. Those are 3 just streets in Bluffton that keep reminding us of the struggles that Black people did go through. And, I don't really agree with uplifting something that tore so many people down. We are also trying to get change the name of all of gated communities in Bluffton and Hilton Head that are named after plantations, because, again, we're not trying to reiterate. That's not the history that we need to keep progressing in Bluffton, I guess you would say. So we're really those are the physical things that we're trying to change, but as far as we're just trying to see a change in people's mindset, because once we can do that, then we can change anything.
Well, it's great to see how it all came together. DESIREE, thank you so much for coming on. And as you saw earlier, the Gamecock football team joined the thousands of protesters this past Friday. Executive producer of SGTV's Capital City Sports, Tom Santinello, joined head coach Will Muschamp on a conference call earlier this week. And Tom, what did he have to say about him and the team joining the march?
Yeah, Spencer. So last week, in reaction to the George Floyd killing and a lot of the social unrest going around the country right now, the football team held a 2.5-hour Zoom meeting to discuss some of the issues that are plaguing our country right now. And the 2 words that Coach Muschamp emphasized that the team is focusing on are educating and communicating, because he thinks that the team as a whole really believes that we need to, as a society, educate each other and communicate with each other so that we can understand each other a little bit better. And that's how change is going to happen, which is part of why they participated in that march you saw on Friday. Jay Urge, the quarterback, made some headlines with his "Matters minimum" sign. You saw all over social media, which Coach Muschamp said that he was really proud of not only Jay but just the whole team for participating. They had a vote and it was unanimous. They all want to participate and make their voices heard. With the election coming up in November, Coach Muschamp said that everybody on the roster is now registered to vote if they weren't already. And with the new academic calendar, there's a question that came up of, well, they're going to be in season and they don't get off of school that day, so are they going to even be able to vote? And Coach really emphasized that, yes, the players are going to have plenty of time to vote that day. It's a priority for him that his players are able to exercise their civic duty and work towards voicing their opinions and concerns.
And as you said, the team is planning on having practices this fall. Any new word on what football season might look like?
Well, right now they're just in voluntary workouts, which I guess if you're going to talk about phases of reopening, kind of like you've seen across the country, this is really phase 1 or phase 2 of football coming back. It's strictly strength and conditioning work, 4 or 5 person clusters. Everybody on the team has been tested. They have a protocol in place for what to do if someone tests positive. You've seen schools like Alabama and Florida, they've had players test positive, and they're doing their own sort of thing. Right now, Coach is really optimistic that the season's going to start on schedule. They play Coastal Carolina on September 5th at Williams-Brice. He expects that to go on without a hitch. No real guidance on the attendance yet, but he expects the team to be playing that day. He expects training camp to start on schedule, which is August 6th. But again, it's really just waiting for the SEC or the NCAA to make a decision and give the team guidance, because right now they're all just going off of what they got. This is new for everyone.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. Thanks, Tom. Well, that's going to do it for weekly news from all of us at SGTV. Stay safe, and we'll see you next week.